Good evening, everyone. Welcome you to Ever Talks Jeet Ke Falsafay. everUP is committed to the growth of our client to stop. We intend to bring the latest and the best thinking from today's leaders across the world. We believe that different arenas and in different personalities associate and different personalities think differently. Hence, we try our best to bring people from different fields to share their with you. We share the strategy and information that make you a more effective leader. Kamanato is limited. He has 29 plus years of experience in roles such as auditor, trainer, consultant in the fields of quality, environment, occupational and safety, and information help with clients in India as well as in countries like Bahrain, China, Australia, Thailand. He's a Six Sigma Black Belt and certified lead auditor, ASQ certified reliability engineer, and GDPR certified lead protection officer. Bachelor's in electronics and Colonel Engineering College, and MBA from he passionate about this and shares his passion. And he's an ultra marathoner, completed many marathons. He also helps people reboot programs without much right here about him, really from him. Welcome, Vivek.
Thank you, Insha, so much for giving me this opportunity on this platform. Very happy
It's
to
a
meet you
pleasure to
here.
have you here.
Yes.
All right, Vivek, so I would like to know, where did you start your career from? I mean, which role and how did audit happen?
Yeah. So I'll try to put in as short as possible. 29 years is too long to be put in as many. So I started off, with in my career as a production engineer in Videocon International. It was in Aurangabad after I completed my engineering in Surathkal REC in '94. And so that was my first beginning. I was in the production for almost 5 years, and then I moved on to the second company in my life, which was a game changer, I would say. I went to Delhi and I joined another company. So I got that opportunity to work in implementing ISO 9001. So that was way back sometime in '98 or '99. I think it was around 2000, maybe. I don't remember exactly. And that was how I got into quality. So that was the first jump I got into quality. And from that point of view, from that point, I have been always in quality. Quality has been my main role in the all organization throughout my career. Once you are in quality, so you get to interact with lot of other departments, and of course you need to understand all the departments. And the another thing is that ISO 9000 became the main management system. And so whatever new comes up, it is given to quality. Okay, you handle this ISO. So this ISO new 14,000 has come. Okay, you handle it. Since it's ISO, so everybody thinks, okay, this 9,000, 14,000, it's ISO, must be able to handle it, so you take it. So that's how you got into more and more ISO. And that also gives me an opportunity to learn. And that is a very important point, I would say, to everyone, no matter at what age or or what stage of their career, is that don't stop learning at any point of time. It's a continuous learning process. Even if you are a 50-year or 60-year or even a 25 years, your learning should not never stop, and that will become the base of your advancement in any part of your career. So that's the first thing I understood from that. And so from there on, it was like no jump to environment. So I got an opportunity to work environment, and then so the second thing I would say that whenever there was any change, I like to dig deep into that. So once I got into environment, I did some courses in on my own. So never wait for the organization to come and train you. You train yourself. You master your subject so well that you become an expert on it. So that's the second point I would say that no. So so uh, then it was health and safety and information security. All this come gradually once you are in this role. And so from quality, it came to ninth of environment, then health and safety, then information security. And in all these careers, I try to do some beyond what is the minimum things. Try to become no much more well versed in that subject compared to the others. So at the end, by this time now, I think I have managed to a fair bit of mostly in all these areas that I'm talking about: quality, environment, health and safety, information security, and then you have sustainability. No, so I think that's a brief on my 29 years of experience.
Right. So you have covered both. Uh, Initially, I would know you do a lot. So both ISM as well as QMS, and a lot of audits in that. So would just like to know. I mean, what are the major impacts you notice in terms of either? I mean, is it in ISMS or is it in QMS? How do you come about it?
So whether it's all these systems, basically ISO 9000, or it's a QMS, or 14000, like it's environmental management system, or even ISO 45001 occupational health and management system, or even if it is ISO 27001 information security. The main focus is, first of all, the management commitment is most important. Like no that it's not just for enough to have a certificate on the board, on the wall. It is much beyond that, and it really needs a dedicated team, and the buy-in of all the employees should be ensured. So and this, for to ensure that buy-in, the management must walk the talk. The top management, whosoever is heading that company, he must ensure that he walks the talk. Whatever he's saying, he must show it on the shop floor. If that is there, then success of all management systems, or whatever systems or culture change you want to have, it will be ensured. Like for example, I'll just give you so if you are talking about health and safety, or and it requires say a helmet to be worn on the shop floor. So even if the MD comes, he must ensure that he comes in the same safety gear that a normal worker is supposed to wear, and that shows the commitment of the management. So uh, if you are talking about information security, if your laptop or needs a certain password and other things which every employee is following, the same set of policies must apply to the CEO's laptop, or no, what a computer is using. That shows the commitment. So all these things, people watch, the employees watch what their top management is doing. So if you are doing the right practices and what you are expecting from your employees, naturally that culture is going to change. So I would say that is the most important thing, that every company must have the first the management walking the talk, and then that is going to drive all the other changes.
Absolutely. So just before we join university, quite now into force and everywhere. So a quick understand like how do you go about, what do you check there, and what come up when it is voting in that. So anything that you would like to share about it?
So
Anything related to
ESG is no. If you put it the environment, social, and governance. So it is a sum total of everything, the entire environment in which the so when we talk about environment, everything falls, like the resources, the water, the carbon emission, the energy management, the waste handling, everything falls under environment. When we are talking about social, all the social welfare and the health and safety of the employees and those who are working in your organization, like for example the trainings, the benefits, the health and preventive health, medical checkups, everything falls under social. And when you're talking about governance, the corruptions, the ethical way of governing, the anti-competitive this policies, all those things appear in this under this uh, the governance part. So I would say when you are ESG, so there are several standards which are there, but primarily I would say not to promote anything, but the most common standard that we see is GRI, the Global Reporting Initiative, that is there. So most of the companies would like to report it in a standard way. That is no, so that there is a certain standard which can needs to be followed while you're reporting. So and so you have a multitude of topics on which you can report, but the company needs to decide which are the important topics that are important to them and to their business and to the stakeholders. So that aspect is called materiality assessment, where the company does a study and finds out what are the topics which are important to the stakeholders, which are important to the business and to investors and all those things. So they select those topics and they report the performance on those topics. For example, if the company is using a lot of water, then water becomes an important topic for them to report, like what they are doing to improve water conservation, what they're doing to reduce wastage of water and no, prevent pollution of water. So all those things can be reported in that report. If they are interested in say, if the company is having a lot of say child labor issue, then child labor becomes an important topic, and the company can report on what initiative they have taken in the child labor, what are not only in there but also in the supply chain, what initiative they have taken to ensure that there is no child labor in the entire uh, value chain. So this is how we can report in ESG. And so reporting is just end of the, it's just a recurring thing. But more importantly, before you report, you need to have certain all these structures in place, so that you are actually following certain policies, procedures, and ensure that whatever you are reporting are actually being done on the ground, and it's not just an eye wash or a green wash, as I would say.
Absolutely. So, as far as I remember, there was one covers like engagement of audit on that. Do you actually audit the culture sort of environmental health under this to understand the environment of the organization? Is it good? How's the culture? Do you check anything there?
So there is no checkpoint, but when we talk to the employees, any auditing requires talking to the employees and so interviewing them and looking at the organization. So from there we get a sense of like how the organization culture is. We do get a sense that and in some cases we do need to report it, but and that okay, at least to the top management, that this is not going good. It may not be publicly in the report, but at least when we talk to the top management, we do indicate certain matters that okay, these are the critical areas which uh, not in the report but has to be corrected. And so the culture is one part where we always take that okay, it has to be improved. Yes.
Okay, I ask this because a lot of time I've seen auditors that they doing it. They check on like what all the HR is doing, employee engagement, etc. But ideally, what I say employees do, say the culture change that comes, probably there may be some gaps. So a lot of times I feel that they skip this gap. They're happy with what by the HR, they look at that. But what has been the result? Probably that is not taken care of.
Yeah,
Asking, is there a bit?
one reason I would say one reason could be that the standards only require certain minimum compliances to be done. Okay, so as an auditor, and the standard requires, say, for example, you need to have certain, say, competencies or so. So you can only report under those clauses or under these things, that okay, either its competency is there or certain clauses are there, and these standards only specify certain minimum requirements. They don't go beyond that, and so it is for the companies to improve them, not only by meeting minimum requirement but also building upon that and becoming the best and making a best practice in that area. So as an auditor, uh, it would be very difficult to give an non-conformity in an area, just because it is not the best practice, as long as it meets the minimum requirement of that standard. So
Got it. I feel that it's good to be compliant. It's good to really make it meaningful. Probably organizations also do
yeah,
this.
so that is the main difference between a standard auditing against a standard like ISO 9001 or 14,000, or is auditing between an excellence award. So when you are applying for an excellence award, these things are getting audited. Like
Okay.
in an excellence award, beyond the minimum, you also look at the what is the best practice that the company has implemented, and you already have some world class practices already there. So there is some comparison between the minimum and the best practice. So in those areas, in those audit, we do get an opportunity to, you can audit and also give a comment that okay, this is probably compliant but not the best, you can further improve. But in like yes, I have done for say CII EHS awards, excellent award in the Eastern region. I've been an assessor for a couple of years, so I've seen that no, you can do it. So I've done that in this for CII. Yeah, hi Insha, can you see me?
Of compete free excellency awards. I think that helps us more to drive the results and actually come in there. So absolutely, he was doing wonderful, Vivek. So I just went ahead and I was speaking about what we were discussing. Go ahead. So yes, I mean, if people have not able, probably even for registering and coming, you know how to, maybe not today,
Absolutely.
but years down.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly.
Good, good. That's nice.
Yes.
Um, I also see one thing from your is getting to a you insistent in learning and updating your knowledge throughout your career. So what that?
It's just the fun of knowing something new and becoming, and say, no, I would not say an expert in that, because expert word is, I like to call myself a student all the time. So it's always in a student learning mode. So there is no age for, so you will never be an expert, because whatever you are learning tomorrow, there is always something which is there you can learn. So I don't call myself as an expert though. So uh,
You're quite modest there. I'm sure your expertise will keep on rising, become an expert in there. of course, you become more idea. But yes, that's lovely, and
I,
that's a
yeah,
nice.
I like to complete at least 1 or 2 courses every year. That's my something. Every year, I'd like to update myself at least in one area or two area, whatever. No, it's my list is very limited: quality, environment, health and safety, and information security. So this in these 4 areas, and of course, I'll try to update
That's why
myself.
because you keep on increasing your knowledge in the same area. If it was wide, I would have said, it was completely an expert. Right. So that was great. And he lovely message. He always felt as a student, which learning and learning. When everyone wanted to know when will this learning end? It's probably to work we start learning that same thing to leave earlier.
Exactly, exactly. Yes, very well said. Yes.
All right. 2MS covers like engagement of people. So it also, and you are one of the leaders. That's why you are here for us all set to share. So I would like to know that when it is about leadership, what do you check there?
Um, in say in leadership, mostly with say in auditing, it's very simple. Uh, Mostly we look at whether uh, he is devoting enough time for the sessions or for the meetings with the people. That is one of the most important criteria. If a leader or a CEO or a MD doesn't devote much time for the meetings and just so that means it's not no he's not or committed or he's not interested in that part. So in lot of companies I audited, I have seen that MD has been there in all the meetings right from the first meeting to the last meeting, and throughout the audits he checks up, or the CEO checks up with how is the audit going on, have a quick chat, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. And also beyond that, I've seen the MD CEO's presence in all the other meetings. Like you have various other meetings the company has in various business meetings and other things. So that presence indicates that commitment, because the most precious time the CEO or MD can share is the time that is available to him, and that is the most precious resource there. If he is willing to share a part of that for this management system, or that means he is really very committed. So,
Okay, great, great. So connected with so many leaders. If now I would like to but in your what according are important leadership traits every individual should have? If there's a leadership trait that you feel someone should have, so what would that be?
most importantly is the willingness to support and uh, inspire trust in the employees, that they are there, and they will get all the support, or even if they make mistakes, there is somebody to support him and not make him a scapegoat. So that is very important for any leader, I would, in my experience, I would say. Of course there are many other traits, but for me that is a very important thing. The leader coming and backing his employees, his or her employee, even when they make mistakes, or no, could be a costly mistake also. So that is a very important trait, because that builds the trust, and then the employees are willing to go all out, and even go beyond their own area to do the work, knowing that if they make any mistake, there is always somebody to help them out.
And building resilient teams that you're standing whenever they make it's okay to make
Correct.
mistakes.
Yes.
It's important to grow. They're
Yes.
able to leaders, I think, to build even the trust and make them move towards success.
Correct. Yes.
Great.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
Thing to ask when I go in for students, when I even refer to it's people are still not clear like what comes in with GDPR. and what comes in with I. So I think you're the, if and if you could like try and help them understand
So, see, again, I would say ISO is just a standard. In even within the ISO, there are many other standards. So, when you're talking about ISO, you need to be very specific on which standard it is talking about. Why these standards are there? Just to improve the allow and give the company certain guidelines on improving their systems. We must understand there are lots of companies, organization of various maturity. Some are growing, some are already there, some have just started, and the work and the people they have, they might have the best people no from available to them, or they might not have the best people. They must maybe somewhere in a local, say, town or a village. So following this ISO systems helps them to standardize their practices, standardize the management system, so these systems are at par with the best in the world. So if they follow these systems, they will become no mature, and they can achieve their company goals. So so within ISO, there are many management systems like quality, environment, health and safety, information security, and even now there is a management system for data privacy also. So GDPR is the uh, privacy requirement for European nationals. So it is for European nationals. So anything, any business holding the data or the information of any European national has to follow the GDPR requirements. So, so if the company doesn't have anything to do with Europe, then they need not be uh, GDPR compliant. Okay, but they might have their own national privacy laws or privacy guidelines. So, so basically, GDPR is a legislation of the Europe for the European nationals, so that any company, irrespective of where they are operated, like it could be an Indian company processing the data of an European national, then they need to be compliant to all the guidelines set by GDPR. Okay. So it doesn't. It is basically a legislation that needs to be followed. It's a law.
right.
Whereas ISO is voluntary. Is a voluntary. Like uh, I may or may not implement that ISO in my company. It's a voluntary, purely voluntary.
Absolutely. Thank you for that clarification. So I think on a bit dry for everyone. Let's move to your passion. You are an alpha inspires you to be at your base passion. I mean, I've seen so many posts of yours, even in the early morning run and for your 100 kilometer. So what keeps you going at this pass? Like this pace for
So I
this pass?
started running around age of 47. I started off with 1 kilometer, and and then from 1 kilometer it went on to 5 kilometer, then 10 kilometer, and then as you push yourself, you know that no, and once you achieve that, you start thinking, why not look at some other thing. So that urge to, I would say, explore my limits, physical limits, and my mental limits, uh, no, has driven me in this passion that I have done marathons, and then I have done ultra marathons up to 100 kilometers. And now I am preparing for 100 miles. So
Seriously,
so
I'll
it's the
faint
joy of
listening to
running. It's just the joy of running. It's so wonderful when you start enjoying that
Were
activity.
you a sports person? I mean, in childhood?
Never in my life I was a sports person. I mean, I was never a sporty kind of guy. Okay. But the
I mean, that's
feel
a
that you get
drastic
when
change.
it's almost like you can call it it sort of meditation also. When you're running alone in the night, your thoughts are to yourself. You can concentrate, on your breathing, on your thoughts, on clarify your thoughts. So it's a lot of no all in one. It's
Absolutely.
enjoyable as well as meditating, and everything is there. So
As long as, I mean, a person is happy with whatever, I think meditation
yeah,
comes with that.
correct. Yes,
Great. So you also coach people, because I've seen a lot of posts where you mentioned about is how you can improve, how this happens, and then even it's written that if we want to connect, we can connect with you. I'd like
correct.
to know what kind of cases, where do you help people?
So I'll just start off where how I came into coaching. Like no, I coaching I went into say health coaching. So sometime around 2000 when I started off my running, I was almost 74, and when I started running initially to just as a healthy thing. So and then I got hooked, and then weight came down to around 63, but my vitals like the pressure and the cholesterol was still very high, and that was I came across the nutrition. I started studying again, from my kind of nature of I start studying about the topic, and I understood about nutrition and how. So I did a program, and then I got immense benefit, and so I studied more, and that's how I'm now in the process of doing a diploma in uh, health and nutrition again. So uh, so just
So
to
you missed
formalize
this
that.
area earlier. You gave me only those four areas. This is also an area.
So I've not completed it yet, so I'm still in the process. My papers have been cleared. There were three papers, one assignment, and now I am doing my project. So I need to complete that before I call myself a diploma. So so this nutrition aspect of health is very important, because the kind of food that we eat uh, is totally, I would say, not balanced, to put it very mildly. It is heavily on carbohydrates, heavily on fat. It is mostly on no taste based rather than content or nutrition based food that we have. If something, and we eat depending upon our mood. If we feel if sad, we eat. If we feel happy, we eat. No, it doesn't matter what. So if we feel stress, then also we eat. So
Eating is common,
so
otherwise everything is different.
yes, so that's what no lot of people do find problems when they can't are not able to judge what they're eating. So this disbalance has is causing most of our current problems of, say, if you say any um, I would say what it is technically called non-communicable diseases, NCD. Okay, so it includes all this cholesterol, diabetes, and no, and weight, and fatty liver, and PCOD in ladies, and then anemia. All those things are as a result of poor diet and poor nutrition. So I do coaching in that area. Primarily it is a weight loss program that I do, but also people do come to me for, say, diabetes or reversal. Few cases I don't take. So far I've not gone very serious, because I need to complete my formal, at least the diploma part, and then also do a couple of cases before I actually go hard upon that area and develop that area. So I'm just holding myself back just to complete, because it's a very important area to have competency in the, because it's the health of someone's in your hands. You need to have competency and not just rely on your experience. So that's why I'm just holding myself back before I actively uh, go hard on that area.
And per se, your experience now that you have a lot of knowledge of, do you think, I mean, because I'm talking about the like these things where which is normal for everyone nowadays. I would say that we, but nowadays I see that BP, sugar, these things have become like So do you
Yes.
think that when you will coach people, will you be able to through exercise that they can live without medication, be for stress
Yes, yes, yes.
and getting
Uh, I've done it for myself. I my BP, sugar, cholesterol, all are in now within the normal limits. Say since five
you
years
take medication?
earlier, without any medication. 5 years earlier, doctor had given me a warning that okay, either you change or you take medication. So, uh, fortunately, I got the better sense to change, and so
Wonderful.
so I have done it for myself. So I know it can be done. I have every month I get at least one. I take one case of, mostly it is weight loss that comes to me. And with weight loss, we also look at, first of all, the process is that I ask them to submit their latest medical report of all the blood tests and other things. Then I make a design a program uh, to, depending upon their medical, and then it's a 1.5 2 months course. And then post that, I ask them to repeat that medical test, and to compare the results. And normally we find it's all normalized. And uh, after normalization, it is very important that the person does not repeat, no, fall back on
It has to be there
fall back on his nutrition. So that
consistent
is,
and consistent
yeah. So he
implementation.
must follow the same principles, and not, otherwise it's of no use. Like, if you are binging on carbohydrates and then you do this program and then you get everything normal, again you follow by, and just becoming a couch potato, and then it's of no
You
use.
allow
So
them some cheat sheets, like some cheat days.
I don't. The program doesn't allow them, but if they want to, they can tell me that okay, on this day they have a party. Then I allow them to take that party. But on the next coming weeks, I make arrangements so that that is compensated in the program.
Oh, you're a strict coach. Okay, but then that's really good. And I think a lot of people, I would really say, I mean, all the fans and who are looking about the audit and everything, if you really want to cure your BP, stress, I mean, whatever issues are there, diabetes, thyroid, do connect with him to help you. He can go without medication for these. It's really help. So,
Yeah,
what is the success
living
rate
free
which you
without
see?
medication is very important, because medical costs not
Absolutely.
only going up,
Yes.
you can enjoy your life much, much, much better if you are not having any medication.
No, I'm sure there have been also when medications due to different reasons, and I know. I mean, the time that you take medication, but the side effects that you bear of that after
Exactly.
release, I mean, bad on health, bad on everything.
I would say 90% of all our health problems can be addressed through proper nutrition and physical exercises.
One to connect with you in a way, and
Most welcome.
researching, I saw big health corner. What was
Oh, I started it, but I'm not getting enough time to. I need to build up that area. I
okay?
post, like, on different topics on health and nutrition. Basically, that was my intention of starting it, but due to some uh, time constraints, I'm not able to devote enough time in that area, Quora. So,
I'm sure, but you must have got your fans, so probably you need to come back.
yes, yes, I have a plan. So I'll come back to that area. Uh,
All right,
Thank you
great,
for
great.
checking
So
up that. I didn't
yeah,
know.
watching you everywhere where I could find you. So I found this one, and there were a lot of. So now quickly move on to Twitter. So let's put conversation. note.
Wow. I need to,
Uh,
do I
easy to
need to put
like.
in some bulletproof vest or something like that?
It's just I need you to be so that we can make it like and as well as like what comes to your mind and you need to speak up. Okay, so your first question goes. Do you like to start?
With a 5 kilometer run.
Oh God, that's hard. Lovely. Three adjectives that describe you.
I would say kind, soft spoken, and reliable.
He is consistent and mad about.
That comes without saying. Yes.
Okay, you start.
I wake up at 4:30 and I morning by 5 o'clock 5:15 I'm on the I start running.
What is the time you take now for 5 kilometers?
Around 30 minutes. It depends upon the kind of run because there are many runs. On say Saturdays, I run for maybe 2 3 hours or as much as time permits.
Which part of the day are you productive? You feel for your.
Uh, Morning first half, I would say.
Okay. Which season do you like most? Summers or winters?
It would be winter.
Yeah, I was saying that time.
Yeah, I can run longer without getting tired.
Okay. What is your favorite memory? Any work to share? Favorite one?
Favorite work memory, work.
Yeah, related to your work. Anything.
Uh, no, so many are there.
Any latest
So
ones that you would like to share?
latest one. See, I had given an opportunity to visit Australia to carry out a safety audit in my previous organization. So that was a very learning experience, and in that same period, I also had given an opportunity to carry out an environmental audit in Malaysia and Thailand. That's how I went to Malaysia and Thailand. So these,
All
it,
one by
yeah.
one together quickly.
So no, it was in the same period. I would say in the same 1 or 2 years. So that period was a very wonderful period. I would say where I enjoyed and I learned a lot in those 2 years of.
I'm sure you learned a lot and you traveled a lot, enjoyed a lot.
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite social media app that you find engaging for you?
Right now it's LinkedIn, and of course I you Facebook. I don't. Last 6 months I have not been very active, and Instagram, but right now it's mostly on LinkedIn that I'm most active.
What does it mean to you?
Health.
Yeah, health mean
Health.
to you.
Health means being able to carry out all the normal works, enjoy life without worrying about any other things.
Okay. What is your favorite meal of the day and why?
Feel of the day. Sorry.
Meal.
Meal.
Yeah.
Meal is dal roti and some vegetables.
At which time? I mean, like, which meal? Breakfast.
Lunch would be there. I think lunch would be the most favorite. Breakfast are sometimes very tight and yeah,
Do you like lunch more?
you get a little bit more time.
Okay. Okay.
That's the only thing.
Okay. What's the nicest compliment someone has ever given you?
Oh, uh, it's
You shed your kilos. Must be something.
not really. I think compliments. I would say, uh,
I mean, anything. Work related, whatever you want.
yeah. My ex boss said that I am always sharpening my axe at even at my age. So that came from he is much younger than me, and of course, but it I think it's a great compliment.
The compliment for you would be when we were working, because when you went for audit and I was representing like the head. So I remember like these fine auditors coming transactional thing. So while
Hmm.
great for you, because I felt I was talking to it and I was like, do something normal. I'm sure 90% will be right, even 5% normal. When the head and you started checking things that and where we should make a difference, we should think about. So that is my best character. I really find in spite of being in that audit one, I still find it very. So that is a compliment to you, that you
Thank
really
you
go.
so much. Thank you so much for that.
Okay, so books, you love any books?
Books, mostly it's motivational or self-help books, and I like thrillers, mystery, Sherlock Holmes type. It's still my favorite.
Favorite yours? Motivation and
uh, Atomic Habits, of course, is there. Is
good one.
That's a good one, I would say, and yeah, I would say. Then the Seven Habits, Stephen Covey.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
okay. Great. If you write a book, will it be audit or will it be health? Will it be what?
It would be on health and running and
That's good. Always about running it. So that has
yes.
to be. And what title? Any just quick.
Uh, I would say there is no age uh, not to run. I would something like that. Age has no in no way age is a barrier for running. So something related to that, I would say.
So I would like everybody writes a book, and if you the cover, that made a quick one.
Oh
So
wow,
everyone, how
great.
would that look like? Let's check. I
Yes.
see my
Quite,
book.
uh, absolutely correct.
All right. So now would is different. And I remember, typically a little quickly.
Reduce your carbs. That's the first thing, and increase your protein.
Okay, I use carbs and I want to proteins.
Increase protein. That's very important because we are protein deficient. Almost all of us are protein deficient, and we have to
Okay.
consciously make an effort to increase that. At least in India, I would not say in UK or US. Uh, I did get a chance to coach a UK citizen, and that's where I got an understanding that they are more their meals are
Are
much more
being
balanced than our meals. Yes.
oh wow. So what would be let's say we talk about an easy to make breakfast full of alcoholic. What could really just eat?
See, one is I would say in South India you get certain what you call an upma, where you put in lots of vegetables in it.
That's
So yeah, so with upma you can make with suji or say or you can make with rice, but you can make with quinoa. Quinoa upma. Quinoa is a you can say it's a protein rich thing. Quinoa. Quinoa. It is pronounced quinoa. Quinoa. So it's a protein rich thing, and you can make an upma out of it, which is quite good in protein, and the vegetables that you put in will add that five other things that is required.
everything. you get up every fourth? When you
I at least sleep at 10:30, get up at 4:30, and in between, if I get I just take a nap for half an hour whenever I get some time. So 6.5, 7 hours, 6.5, I would say minimum. Though I would like to be 7 hours, but I make it up with somewhere I'll. You cannot cheat sleep. No, it will.
be 7, it should
Yeah, you cannot cheat it. So it will come to you in whatever way. So,
then
so
it comes with bad health. I mean,
yes. So, but
that's
6.5 good sleep and then half an hour afternoon nap, it is sufficient for me. It works well. Uh,
okay.
it all depends upon your individual. At the end, you should feel energetic. That's the thing.
And I think the running self talk. I do really self talk to yourself.
Self talk, I would not say. I do write in my diary. I make some affirmations. Okay, there are few statements which I write in my diary every day for last say affirmation I've been doing for the last 1.5 year. I've been writing daily in my diary. So
Wow,
that and every year I make my own objectives and goals. So that I have been following since 2005 or 6. Uh, every year I set my own goals, on targets, on it could be in various areas. So
wonderful. So, have you ever in your career?
lots of setbacks.
Okay. So, any one lesson like to share that you got from setbacks and you can talk
Definitely.
about it.
So it was early in my career, 5 6 years in my career. I think. So I would say that like no, it is more common now. People do get laid off. That has become more common now. But in that time, it was not that common. But uh, always upskill yourself so that uh, you you make yourself dispensable to the company. Like, don't consider that you are an indispensable part of the organization. Never do that. Always keep yourself upskilled so that you are ready to be kicked off the next day and you are not worrying about it. So
Absolutely. And you said the big and for really that, we should keep building our knowledge, just like he said, as
yes,
a student.
absolutely. So that's what I learned, that no, never think you don't ever become indispensable to the company, or don't ever think that you are indispensable to the company. That's the most mistake we can ever make. Most and
I
we
think that's
and
like
we
an overconfidence of self. Instead, we go
absolutely,
overconfident.
absolutely.
Because, I mean, it depends on us. If we are productive,
Yes,
it performers. Still, in a life, there's nothing called indispensable. I mean, still, it's like do have their spaces being filled up.
absolutely, yes.
Okay, what is a quick advice? Actually, stress out doing. I'm happy and doing, or for a month, then very more
It
to
discipline and consistency and controlling your what you are putting into your mouth, watching what you are putting into the mouth. It's very important. I have got a
because
very uh, it's a very difficult thing. Sometimes I digress from that. I have a very sweet tooth, and I sometimes binge on the sweets, and then I get back on track after 1 week, 1 month. I get back on track, but I enjoy that. So I know when to get back and when to the thing. But Discipline is very important. You must know when you, of course, you must enjoy all your celebration. India is a no area land where there are lots of celebrations
Yeah,
every day.
every now and then celebrate.
Yeah. So enjoy those moments because that's where life is all about. Enjoy them, but don't get overboard. And when you are not celebrating, be disciplined. That's I would say. So
Quite informative. So any last message for everyone who's out?
I would say that life is too short, so make the best use of it. Keep have a very healthy life and enjoy, as well as enjoy the moments with the people around you, because that's not going to come back, and that's the thing that are going to miss. Uh,
These in organizations, people here one for the ISO bids for even people you can also connect with him on LinkedIn. That was important. Now you want to connect forward and if the we don't have to think that you're like on position when to control it. The good time he can be a perfect he good or check also. So with that, thank you being there and
Thank you
thank
so much. Thank you so much for this show, and it was wonderful talking to you and answering your questions. I know uh, some
me.
of them are uh, quite interesting. Yes.
Okay, thanks very
Okay.